audio baseline, external lavalier microphone, 2.7K, 30 frames per second. Audio baseline, built-in microphone, 2.7K, 30 frames per second, wind suppression filter switched off. Hello folks, this is probably me just talking to myself, but maybe it'll find its way onto YouTube. I'm doing a bit of a video about the Wolfang video camera. 420, I think, from memory is the model. Now there's lots of videos out there already, so what makes this one different? Well, probably nothing, except for the fact that it was the 2024 version, and many of the problems with the previous version seem to have been done away with, or corrected. Case in point, I'm now speaking to you on the built-in microphone on the camera. I'm recording this video, quick sample video by the way, in 2.7K at 30 frames per second. And one of the big issues which I did have was the audio, but not from this camera. From the mount and coins in my center console and that sort of thing, which were rattling, and that came out on the video. All of that rattling. Mainly it was the mount that was loose. So hopefully I've corrected that now. So I'll check the audio directly. I'll pull over just here into the shade and just have a quick check to see if that rattle has been solved. I think it has. And then I'll change the resolution. Again, at the moment we're in 2.7K 30 FPS. And we're off again. That video turned out fine. I've now increased the resolution to 4K 30 frames per second. A note about our location: I'm in Outback, Australia, and it's warm. Right now it's the 4th day of autumn, I think, from memory, and it is still 34 degrees. That being the case, and the car, by the way, the car had been sitting in the sun, so cabin temperature is always warmer than the ambient temperature. So that being the case, I've got the air conditioning on. However, I have determined that the fans, the noise of the fan on maximum is really apparent on the video. Now, that being the case, I have the wind suppression filter switched on the camera. I had the wind suppression filter switched on in the earlier video, and I have the wind suppression filter switched on now. And in the earlier videos of this, earlier video samples of YouTube from this camera which I've seen, I had a look at a lot of them before I decided on the camera to buy. In the earlier videos, that was just like putting a pillow over a microphone. It really did muffle it down, but that's all it was dampening down the entire this sound, as I'm sure you are too. You can hear it clearly. Yes, it is a little bit suppressed, but I think that could be taking out some of the noise of the air conditioning. And as I said, I'm in Australia, I'm in the Outback, and air conditioning is something that you simply have to have and use. So I'll park in the shade and I'll change resolution again. But I have to say, from what I've seen and my early impressions, it seems that 2.7K is the sweet spot in terms of what you get for, not what you get, the final product compared to the file size, etc., like that, the battery draw. Yeah, I think 2.7K 30 FPS is the sweet spot. We'll find out. As I'm sure you can tell from the number of caravans and that sort of thing here, we get a lot of holiday makers, a lot of holiday traffic exploring the Outback through our town. And I've got to say, if you think our town is dead, it's actually because this is late on Sunday afternoon. It's the perfect day for a Sunday drive, Sunday afternoon wind down. But that's the reason why there's not much traffic and not many people around the town at the moment. We're still in 4K 30 FPS. I think we'll go out of town actually for a little drive and see the area. And I'll be talking to you along the way. Yeah, I don't have any radio or music on because of copyright, etc. But also, you're more interested in having a listen to me, I guess. Something I've found out the hard way is the remote control that you wear on your wrist is your best friend with this camera, as is the Wi-Fi connection and the smartphone app on your phone. The reason being, unless you actually have to touch or handle the camera, the better. Well, in this particular instance I'm in now anyway, that's the case. 160 kilometres per hour, and they are well worth it. If you're coming out to Australia and you're going to explore, doesn't matter whether you're exploring coastal regions outside of the city centre or exploring the Outback or anywhere in between. There are kangaroos all around. If you're coming from America or Canada, you can liken them to deer on the road. That's the sort of thing they are. And I didn't actually change the resolution then, I just turned around. They run out in the road, and the whistlers do a great job of preventing accidents. They get dazzled by headlights and tend to stay in the middle of the road. The whistlers, they're 80% of in 80% of cases they're effective. They prevent accidents. Okay. This time I'll pull up under shade and I will change the resolution. And yes, I did choose a rough place to pull up because, as I said, testing out the audio and the rattle from the loose mount was terribly apparent. Still sticking to the 30 frames per second. However, now we're on 1080p for resolution. The town that I'm in has a population of about 1,000 people, I guess. So it is only a small town. However, we are close to the small city of Port Augusta. By close I mean we're about 35 kilometres away, which is a half an hour or less drive. And it's a very pleasant drive actually, through the pass. Through a mountain pass, and here you twisty windy roads, but its scenery is beautiful. And Corn, which is the town that I'm in, of the southern Flinders Ranges in South Australia, varies greatly. You can travel 30 minutes travel in a multitude of directions from the town, 30 minutes, and you'll see something different in every direction. For example, the road that we're going to go on right now, which is the Outback Highway, Corn to Port Augusta stretch. Well, we won't be going the whole stretch, but you will see some spectacular scenery. It's a very pretty place. I've lived in this area for 20 odd years. Actually 20 years I've been coming up here, almost exactly, but I never tire of these views on this road. So I'll go a little bit down the road stabilisation switched off. Now it's not by choice, I'm sorry to say. It's one thing about the Wolfgang 420 is that the curvature calibration, or I can't think of the proper terminology for the life of me at the moment. I'll turn around here. But yeah, the curvature correction for the fisheye effects production, basically. If you have it switched on, it means you can't have the video. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I knew what no. Car coming, so I decided not to. I'll turn around and then I'll change it. Yeah, you can't have both going at the same time. You can't have that curvature correction and video stabilisation on at the same time. Well, as I said, this is basically a giant dolly car, so you don't really need it in any case. Okay, changing file now. Okay, operating on a different theory now, I've felt that this microphone, as it was in its current form, this lavalier microphone, was over amplified. It's more suited to a more discrete volume, where someone might just be walking in the supermarket aisle muttering to themselves. That kind of volume. That's what I'm speaking in now. This is less than a conversation level of volume. In the interest of saving the battery, I've turned the selfie screen off. It's on for 60 seconds, so you can frame your shot, and then it's turned off. I am actually starting to speak louder now. Is that possibly me being less self-aware? Is it possibly me being more aware that the lavalier microphone is directly beneath my neck? Well, actually it's a little bit lower than that, because as I said, I thought that the microphone was over amplified. So I've tried speaking more quietly than I normally would. So right now the screen's not on. I'm looking at the lens. I'm walking around in circles, making myself dizzy. Can't see myself, but I'm looking dead at the lens. And I do believe I just felt a spit of rain. At its maximum stretch, it is 6 foot tall, same as my height. If I had an exposed microphone, you would be hearing this type sound, which is the wind. In the sample video footage and videos that I looked at on YouTube before I bought this camera, that was actually one thing that I did take notice of, was that the inbuilt microphone had crap audio. I think that's still the same. Maybe it's slightly better, maybe. That's a big maybe. I can now tell you that at maximum reach, which is one of me again in height, the lovely microphone is tugging tight but not coming loose from my positioning on the chest. And that car had headlights on, and it's got its headlights on because it's on its way to being